Hey, what's up, guys? Kurt Stubbs here, Ohio HS Hoops, and it is tourney time. We have the brackets that were unveiled last Sunday, all 7 divisions for the first time in OHSAA history. We are at the 7-division mark. This isn't the time to talk about that. Last week I did Division 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, that was before the brackets were known, but I feel like we scraped through those pretty well. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to simply focus on Division 4, and then I'll do 5, 6, and 7 the same way. Just the way my brain works, it kind of helps me to focus more on the one division at a time. So we'll look at Division 4 today, and we'll start in Region 13. This is the Canton Fieldhouse region. I'm looking at these 3 teams right here as my regional title contenders. Warrensville Heights, Canfield, and Akron-Buchtel. Those are the 3 teams that I think have a legitimate shot of advancing to the Final Four out of this region. Now, there are some sleepers in this region, some teams that could bust your bracket. West Geauga had a really good season. Cleveland VASJ is only 11-10, but they've got some wins. They played a really difficult schedule. Cleveland Glenville, another really good team, and then Streetsboro is having a really good season as well. So those are the 4 teams in Region 13 that I could see possibly playing spoiler in one of these games. All right, let's go to Region 14. This was difficult. Originally, I just had Ursuline, and maybe that should just be the case, but I added Notre Dame Cathedral Latin because they beat Ursuline last night. They've split on the season. I think Ursuline is a really good team. I don't think they are as good as they were last year, the team that made it to the Final Four in Division 2. Jalen Gunther's a really good player, especially for a sophomore. And they have a really nice team. But I can't leave NDCL out, being that they just beat them and they're having a really good season. They've played some really good competition, played some really tough teams close. So I'm going to add them to the contenders list. And then there is a host of teams, and you can see I forgot to take them off of the bracket busters list. So the NDCL, you know what? You can be a contender and a bracket buster. But we got a lot of teams here. We got Elida and Ottawa Glandorf out of the Western Buckeye League. OG's 6-4 in their last 10. This is a season that did not start very well, which is not surprising, when you have a player like Colin White for the last 4 years and he graduates and you're trying to just figure things out. So Otto Glandorf playing pretty well. The only game in that 10-game stretch here that they weren't competitive was the Lima Senior game. So 6-4 in their last 10. Sandusky Perkins got a big win last week over Sandusky. We have Bellevue also out of that Sandusky Bay Conference. Hawken, Otsego. They only have 1 loss, but the RPI systems just don't seem to like them. Schedule hasn't been the most difficult, but still only 1 loss on the year. That is not Arizona. That is Jonathan Alder. And then London and Heath as well out of the Central District. All right, Region 15, man. This is a really hard region to pick. This is really hard to narrow down the contenders here. I've got 3 teams out of the Muskingum Valley League. John Glenn, Maysville, who was in the state title game last year in Division 2. They have that nice trio of sophomores returning from that team. New Lexington is another team that I think is dangerous. And then you have Indian Valley, who is coming off that state football championship in Division 4. Their quarterback, Riker Williams, is a big piece to their basketball team. He's only a sophomore. East Liverpool's played really well this year. And then Meigs. Meigs is really a really big basketball team, especially for that Southeast Ohio. Also here in Region 15, River Valley, man, that's a team that's really had a good year. They have quietly been a very good program recently, Caledonia, River Valley. But yeah, Region 15, as you could tell, looks like it's kind of wide open. Watched Maysville play last night against Tri-Valley. Really like Maysville. Tri-Valley is a hard matchup for Maysville. Big physical bodies from Tri-Valley. Close game. Tri-Valley ended up winning that game by a point. They swept the season series this year against Maysville, but Maysville is a team that could make a deep run. John Glenn with my boy, Coach Eric Scheck, doing a great job there for the Little Muskies. So I'm interested to see how this region plays out. All right, some bracket busters in Region 15. Some Southeast Ohio teams, Jackson Ironmen, the Uni-Oto Shermans. You got the Johnstown Johnnies out of Central Ohio. Carrollton, who has had a pretty good year. Beaver Local, another team that's had a pretty good year. Struggled a little bit lately. They got a really good post player, Owen Hill. Buckeye Valley doesn't have a great record, but they've played some pretty good competition. And then my guy, Logan McCourt, a St. Clairsville alum leading the Cambridge Bobcats, just got a big win last night in the OVAC 4A semifinals. He went to John Jenkins Court and took down his alma mater. So congratulations to my race buddy, Logan McCourt, great guy, very deserving. Look forward to watching the Bobcats in the tournament. All right, Region 16. To me, I know Alter's slipped up here and there, lost to Baden, really good Baden team the other night in conference. But I think Alter, you're defending Division II state champs. Cincinnati, Wyoming, another team that's lost a couple here down the stretch, but those two losses, nothing to sneeze at. So you got Alter and Wyoming as, I think, the two teams that can win this region. And then, man, I'm not completely out on Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy being a team that could win this region. You also got Cincinnati Taft. They're a young team, but that could definitely do some damage in the tournament. Johnstown Northridge. Or I'm sorry, not Johnstown Northridge. Dayton Northridge has had a really good year. Dayton Dunbar has played some really good competition. Dayton Oakwood has a really good record. RPI does like them. I believe they're in Martin RPI. I believe they're 15th in Division 4, and then Taylor, another team out of the Cincinnati Hills League, same league with Wyoming. Those 6 teams, I think, could be teams that could be bracket busters. Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, I don't know why they just keep popping out to me. They have 2 guys that can really score, so keep an eye on them. All right. Man, feel free in the comments to tell me if there's any teams that you think can win the Division 4 state championship that I don't have on here. Front and center, and I've had this since the beginning of the year, I felt like Alter and Wyoming are the 2 teams that can win Division 4. I've added Warrensville Heights. They've played a really good schedule. They've lost to some really good teams. The only thing I question with them is they haven't won any of those games, but a lot of those teams on their schedule, they are not going to see in the Division 4 tournament. So I got my guy Michi Johnson and Warrensville Heights on this list as well, along with Youngstown Ursuline. So let me know if there's anybody that you think I should have as a state championship contender in Division 4. I'm certainly open to hearing what you have to say. All right. We're going to do Division 5, 6, and 7 the same way individually so that they can get the attention they deserve. and we'll be back sometime later this week to do that.